Hello, guys. So, we're back. New day and new painting and new book. I'm really excited because today we're gonna start our new book, and I'm gonna be sharing with you this new painting that I'm going to do, or that I'm doing actually. This painting I started at nighttime, so you can see that it's very hard to see the tracing, like the sketching, because obviously my room doesn't have a lot of light at nighttime, so I apologize for that. But here we are, another day, so I decided to carry on with it, and I am not happy with this at all. Like, I'm really unhappy with what I did, and I have to say that it has to do a little bit with my, like, with how I feel. Like, when I started it the night before this, I didn't have my headphones, and I can't do it. I need my headphones to get into the mood, and I just didn't feel good, so I needed my headphones for sure. So anyway, here I started, like, I said, you know what, I can't do this. So first of all, I'm gonna have to be doing this like in the morning or like during daylight, because it helps me see more like imperfections and stuff like that, and also I can see like a little bit more of what, like, how this person is going to look. So yeah, so today I put my headphones on, I put my music, and then I went on, like, and let me tell you, I felt so much better, like so much better. So so yeah, so here it is. I'm basically destroying the entire like sketch, because I just didn't like it. The nose was okay, but not to the fullest. Same thing with the mouth, it was too big, no proportion. So this is just a lot of things. I need to have this I need my music, because my music relaxes me and it makes me go to that place of like flow. So yeah, and also I have to say that I am actually like recording myself, which I hate, because I feel like my painting is very personal and I just don't like to be seen when I like to be seen, you know, when I do my painting. But anyway, like, I guess I need to do it this way, like it's like I need to do it like that, like people want to see it, I guess. So yeah, so I'm here like sketching and just painting and basically sharing one of my most private moments, you know, like for me. And also it's like this is not the end. So during the whole process I'm gonna be adjusting like the neck, the arms, everything. So don't be shocked, because this is actually one, like, how sketches look. They look horrifying, they can look like an alien or something like that, and then but it should turn out great. So here we are with a new book. It's called Money Lessons for a Lifetime. Stories, observations, and tips on living a prosperous life. So this book is by Jorgensen, and I am very excited to read it now, because before this, when I chose my book from my shelf, I was like, I don't know about that, because I read in the back and then it says something like how to establish your budget, things like that, and I was like, I don't know. But anyway, sometimes when I don't feel like reading something, like it's the book that is gonna give me some knowledge. So now that I started reading it, I feel like it's really like it's super interesting. The author, which is Jem, he talks about his basically he used to give his lifestyle or like his teachings to his sons, and the wife actually told him like, why don't you just like write a book and share with everybody, and he decided to do it. So so that was basically the introduction of the book, whatever. And one thing that I highlight, a lot of things that I want to talk about. So this is one of the things. It says this book is also about my belief over the years in making and keeping money the old-fashioned way, and about learning the time-tested basic rules of investment. So if you're not into investment, this book might not be for you, because so far what I read is about investing money. So yeah, it's a little tough, but we'll see. So the lessons, basically the book goes by lessons. So I'm not sure how many lessons it has, like, but it has like a lot of lessons actually. Let me see. I think it has more than 30. Yeah, I think so. Give me just a second. I'm just trying. Lesson 36. So it has 36 lessons. Correct. So lesson 1 is like growing up, and that's page 1, obviously, and that's how the book starts. So he tells you a little bit about his growing up and the mom, and how the mom used to the little things that the mom used to tell him. But the most important part here is like when he was 11 years old, he lived in Omaha, Nebraska, and for him, Nebraska was a big city because he never went anywhere else. But the family moved to a small farm community, to a small farming community in Central California. It doesn't really say where. And he basically lived in a household that he called economical disadvantage, which I think was very like I don't know, like a low income house or something like that. So his family didn't have a car back then, and so one of his lessons at this time of age, it was like, if he wanted to go to a place he needed to walk, right? If he wanted extra spending money, he had to work. If he wanted to go to a birthday party, like, he had to take a gift. So his mom, basically his mom will give him money to buy the gift, and it was like $2 back in the days, right? So the moment he realized something is when he realized that he says something really nice here. I'm gonna say it. He said, I even tried to get sick the day of the birthday party in hoped that my mom would forget about the gift, because he didn't want to go, because he wanted that gift that he bought for the kid. And he says, do you know what it is like to give someone else a birthday gift that you always wanted? And I know that, and I have a lot of things to say about this, but we're gonna go over the book first. So he says, I never forgot the day. I never forgot that day, and I wondered that someday I have enough money to buy anything I wanted. When I got to high school, I had 2 summer jobs that kept me from having empty pockets the rest of the year. But obviously he didn't want to stick on those jobs that were like not what he wanted, right? So he also says that he had a clothing allowance. Like the mom, I guess, used to give her some money for clothing and stuff. So to save money, he just wore a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. His dad was fine with it because he liked it, but the mom didn't really. She wasn't a fan of the outfit because she said my mother didn't know. My mother did not share my idea of how a well-dressed high school student should look like. So, but my mom, all the guys wear just a t-shirt and pair of jeans. I said, as usual, my mother was wrong and totally unreasonable. Just ask any teenager. They know how out of it. Their moms can be. But my mother was right about one thing. How to save money. She had saved enough money to buy an evaporated water cooler attached to the bedroom window. Of course, it was the mom and dad's window. So the mom, like any mom, right? Like, because your friends do it, you're gonna do it. She was like that about the clothing. And later on, he had a wife and they moved to the big city. They have 2 kids that wanted the cars in high school. So he says, remembering that my dad didn't own a car until I was a senior in high school, I told them there was no way they could get wheels. And later on, he sent his kids to college, and they still didn't have a car. He says that he's been married 40 years, and he had 2 children, obviously, a boy and a girl. But the past is very different from the present. My son has 5 cars, and my wife and I have just 2. So, chapter 2, oh no, lesson 2, I'm sorry. He talks about how he worked very hard on this industry. It's like an office, and so hold on just a second. So he just talks about the struggle, like how people work overtimes, and basically you pull your heart and soul, like on everything, like at work. And on top of that, like he gets dropped off from his insurance. So his insurance from being a PPO, it comes to HMO. So now he has to go and see another doctor that gets HMOs. And then he talks about, he explains about the insurance thing and how the company like basically let him, like fire him because they were trying to save money. So basically he was doing in the weekends he was in financial planning seminars when he met this lady called Mary Thompson, whose story touched him deeply because this lady, so let me tell you about, she told me that she had worked hard her whole life, and the success she had dreamed of had turned into a failure. She said, I'm about to retire and I now find I had to keep working just to survive and pay my house and car payments. She said, about 30 years ago, I started taking my savings to a bank, and basically, long story short, like the bank stole her money. Oh, not stole her, but didn't give her any money. Like something happened. So she put the money. Okay, I'm gonna read it out. So 30 years ago, I started taking my savings to a bank because a friend I trusted worked at the bank, and he told me my money would be safe. What he didn't tell me was that the 3% my money was earning would never amount to much. Now, Mr. Jorgensen, the shoebox of money isn't looking very good. I have to continue to work because I don't have enough money to retire. I feel the pain in Mary's eyes, and I ask her why she continued to stash her saving in a bank. I just didn't know. She said, I now, and now they tell me I can't even collect all my social security because I have to continue working. So basically, what's his name? Jim. So Jim starts like thinking, right? Okay, so if Mary would have put $5,000 in a saving account for 30 years, and she had paid 5% a year, she would have accumulated like 21,500. But if she invested that money into a stock mutual fund, earning 12% a year, she now have about 150,000. Now, this is where I said, like, if you're not into like investment, this lesson is not for you. But if you like investing, it's for you. I still think that investing is very tricky and like it's kind of dangerous. But that's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You diversify, basically. So he said that in college he learned a few things from a professor. The teacher said in a way that was sure to get in my attention. It makes no difference what you earn over your life, but it makes a big difference what you do with your money, which is so true, you know, like, that's lesson 2, by the way. So basically, it's so true, buddy, because, okay, we're gonna go back to the first one, to the first lesson, which it was like the mom, like, right, like the mom was really good at savings, or the mom would be like, I guess the mom never saw like the potential on saving or what he's doing, so she's like, don't trust like that because you probably look like a bum, and that's why I give you money. But he wanted more money, so he wanted to save his money, and he didn't care about the dressing part. Now the mom was good on money because she saved to get her fan, right? So now here is something very important that people don't understand. People learn how to save for whatever is on your what's like, I forgot the word, what's in your values. Some people value vacation, for example, but if you value vacation and you want to go on vacation on December, there's some people that, because they value vacation so much, they start saving like in April or even before that, and they really take it seriously. But there's people that don't value like freedom in a mean that they don't value like how can I say this, like they don't value the freedom of being able to go anywhere, you know, anywhere they want. So they just don't how can I say it? They just don't care about saving for a retirement, for example. And they think in their heads is like, well, what if I die tomorrow? But when it comes to vacation, they don't think about what if we don't have a job tomorrow. So they just, everything comes to values, because the mom didn't care about what he wanted, like why he was saving basically. So what she did is like, why are you saving, right? And then she saved her money to buy a fan because for her, like, she was too hot probably and she needed something to cool out the room. So and that's the first lesson. Like, you can save money, but it's always gonna be tough if you're not saving money for people. Only gonna save money for your own values, that's all. But if you if you save money and you don't, like, for example, I'm so sorry, there's someone making a lot of noise outside. But if you save money for an emergency, and at the end you don't need it, it's okay. It's there, and you're not gonna have to worry about any emergency you have in your life because you have money saved. Now, that talks about, like, they talk about savings. Like, for example, money is not valuable, but assets are, which is still true. But if you don't have enough money to buy an asset, you just have to save more money, right, to buy that asset that's gonna give you money. So it's very tough to actually, like, want to save this way. Like, these books I loved, okay, but at the same time it's like it's kind of tough to actually, like, when they put it this way, like, when they're making sound like everybody can invest. It's a big thing, especially if you don't have your the basics, which is like paying your bills and all that. If you don't have, like, the money to pay your bills, it's gonna be very tough to save money. So you save money when you have extra after paying your bills. That's when you start thinking about, okay, allocating money here and there. So don't take, like, completely like literal. Don't take this book literal. Just think about, like, just take the lessons, and at some point in your life you probably remember about this and you can actually do something about it, like put them in stocks or something like that. But if you don't have the money to do that right now, do not worry. Just keep your money, save it if you have extra. If you don't have extra, it's okay. You continue doing what you're doing and you'll get that at some point. On the lesson 2, he talks about basically about like, okay, if you have this much money, put it here and there and there. But like I said, it doesn't work if you can't even pay your own bills. So it's always good to have a little bit extra and a little bit of savings, just there, cash, in case you don't have a job anymore, in case, I don't know, something happened. But if that's not a possibility because you don't have if it's not a possibility because you're working and you don't have extra money, I don't think we should worry about this part. Anyway, so now that I'm looking at my painting right now while I'm doing this, it's like I need to fix one of the shoulders. It's too high. Anyway, I'll do it later. So on chapter 3, he talks about the slaying of hand lost pension. So he's talking about the pensions, right, and how they lost the pension. Like a magician's vanish act, a good part of your pension can disappear even before you collect it. Everybody loves magic, loves a magic show. First, you see something, then you don't. Magicians create the illusion that what we thought we saw was real. But recently on my radio show, I guessed who was both a stockbroker and a magician told me that it's really all in the hands. Not that you need to be a magician to be a stockbroker, he said, but it never hurt. He put an ad in the classified section on the local newspaper that had my name and the three of hearts. Then on the air, he had me draw a card from the deck, and it was the number, the 3 of hearts. He then showed me the ad in the day's paper. To this day, I still don't know how he did it, but his sleight of hand was perfect. So, hold on just a second. So, alright, so on lesson 3, basically, from what I read, it's mostly for people that have work in companies that give them pensions. So if you work for yourself, I wouldn't worry about this lesson because it's very hard, right? Like, it's not like you get like a pension at the end of your life or whatever, like when you're 65 or whatever. He's talking about, for example, this example about this guy that had a pension, like a 25k, and then also he had a, what was it called, like, oh, his social security was like 1200, no, 12,000, sorry about that. But because of the social, like, the government was gonna remove 6,000k from the pension. So they're just talking about like if it's legal or not. Like, basically, like, to me, like, I see this very irrelevant because it doesn't work for me. Like, I don't have a pension through work, so it's hard, like, or a social security. So this is more for like Americans that like have this what's it called, benefits. So if you're not from America, this lesson is not for you. Or like, if you're from another country and you guys get pensions, good, but it won't make sense because in America they give you your social security and your pension. So yeah, like, basically the lesson, is about like what to do if like your pension just drops or like goes away. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave it up to here with the lessons and with the book. So far it's a little boring because it's a lot from like the American system, but I'm sure we're gonna get to points like more like universal for everybody and more doable, right? I have my way of saving money, like a lot of people have other ways, but yeah, like, I mean, it's a good thing if he, by the way, a disclaimer. So in the beginning of the book, he talks about like this book is not for everybody. He did say that this is why it works for him. No, that doesn't mean that because he's telling you what works for him, it's gonna work for everybody else. So don't get into like all what he says is BS, because it's not. Like, it's just things that work for him. It's like if I tell you something about my life, that doesn't mean that that works for everybody. Like, no, that worked for me, but I'm sharing like my experience. So if that works, and if you think that, like, I don't know, like, if it's like what can I say it, like, if you like I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Like, basically, if I give you like, okay, this is what works for me, but if your life is not like mine, basically, or in the same direction, it won't work. So everybody's lives is different, everybody choices, and basically, like, we all live in our own movie. So it's so tough because I wanted to make a book and to grab about my lessons, but to be honest, that was about my life, and I was living my life in my movie, and those lessons were for me. They're not for everybody. So yeah. So give me just a second because I think someone's gonna come in my office. No, never mind. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna continue doing my drawing, and I know what I'm gonna change now because I can see that shoulder is bothering me so much. So I won't touch it today, even though I'm dying to do that because I cannot see it like that. But tomorrow I'm definitely gonna adjust that, and probably the neck, because I feel like the neck is too big, too long. So I'll probably make it a little more, a little thicker, and I can see now where it is the problem. So anyway, thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you until the next video. Have a good day, good evening, or good afternoon, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and the book. Bye.